Welcome to the workshop. Today we want to take a look at section A.1, that is the appendix, okay, the first section of the appendix. So we're starting to work through logic and proof. So the first section is about statements and connectives, where a statement is just a sentence, whether it's a sentence like talking or a mathematical sentence, but it's just a sentence that is either true or false, but not both true and false. So we'll look at several examples of statements and then look at the connectives for statements. And then in the next section, continue to look at the truth values of our statements and how we are connecting them. And then finally, in the third section, we'll take a look at proofs, right? Which is essentially just a justification for why a statement is true. And that's all that it is. We want to keep it that simple viewpoint on it as well. It shouldn't be anything that you fear. It's not something that's horribly complicated. It's relatively straightforward. But it might take a little bit of exposure before you find that simplicity, okay? And of course, some proofs are more interesting or intricate than others, but for these presentations, we'll keep them pretty basic. All right, so let's take a look at the first section of the appendix. All right, statements and connectives. A statement is any sentence that is either true or false, but not both. Okay, we can handle that. So let's take a look at a few examples. So it is 72 degrees Fahrenheit in Dr. Reinhout's basement. Now I can go and I can look at in my basement and see what temperature it is right now, and I can tell you it's not 72 degrees, so this is false. It's not 72 degrees in the basement, much colder. All right, excellent. CUAA classes will never be held exclusively online. Hey, you know what? I do believe we encountered that last semester and last year. That is spring of 2020 and fall of 2020. So let's see here. That would be false as well. The number 17 is prime. No, yes, it is. So this is a true statement. Okay, hockey games have 3 periods. Yes, excellent, right? Soccer games have 2 halves. I'm trying to think here what has quarters and what has halves. Not a sports guy, so hockey games have 3 periods. I know that they do. Yay. All right, so a few more here. So I thought I'd make up some that are kind of interesting here. And the first one that I'd like to give us is a nice movie reference. So Mel Gibson plays John McClane in Die Hard. Now, is that true or false? Now, if you are if you're a Die Hard fan, you know that it is not Mel Gibson. So this is false. Can you tell me who it was? Can you? I'm not going to tell you who it was. All right, so another one that's a little bit interesting. All right, looking like Brad Pitt. Another actor reference here. So looking like Brad Pitt does not impress Shania Twain. Is that true or is that false? Now you might think to yourself that wouldn't you have to ask Shania Twain? Well, she actually shared it with us in a song. Looking like Brad Pitt does in fact not impress her much. So this is true. Excellent. And then finally, I would actually say, can you come up with your own? So that actually that itself is not a statement. So here, you are able to come up with your own. I'm hoping that that statement is in fact true, okay? True. It can't be true and false because you either are or are not able to come up with your own example. But that's what I'd like you to do for part G. If you're unsure of whether you've come up with a statement or not, certainly feel free to ask. All right, so the following examples are sentences that are not statements, okay? So we want to look at a couple things that are not statements. So are your hands dirty? Mine are cleaner than I thought they were. Anyway, this is not a statement, this is a question. All right, if your hands are dirty, go wash them. Let's see here. So go wash your hands, right? That's not a statement either. It can't be true or false, right? It's a directive. You're telling someone to do something. So this is a directive. All right, so we have statements, we have questions, we have directives. There are other things as well that I'd like to actually include a quick comment about. So there are open sentences as well, whose truth value, that is, whether they're true or false, depends on a value plugged into a sentence. So it's a little bit weird, but if you're interested in a really quick example, we actually have that. Let's see here, down. Actually, looks like I got rid of it. Let's consider this. Today is Friday. Okay. Today is Friday. This would be an open sentence because it depends on what day you're talking about. If you're talking about today, the day that I happen to be recording this video, it is not Friday. However, this statement is true every 7 days on Friday. Excellent. So this is an open sentence. Its value depends on what today is. So it's not that it's true and false. It is either true or false. It just depends on what day it is. So that would be like an open sentence. We'll find that this sort of thing we use a lot. We don't, our text doesn't give it this formal name, but we use this sort of thing a lot. So we'll see more of these. And we'll continue on in our next video, taking a look at connectives. So now we have a little bit of an idea of what statements are, and of course we'll continue to work with them in our following videos. But the next thing we want to take a look at are connectives. So I'll see you guys back in the workshop very shortly.